Latest developments on coronavirus now, and Italy has just announced it will close all of its schools and university. Remember, Italy, the highest number of infections in Europe, and has been scrambling to bring the spread under control. Jonah Hull in our European News Centre in London with more on this one. Jonah.
Yeah, as you said, Italy currently dealing with the most severe outbreak in Europe, over 2,500 cases, 79 deaths. Remember, just 13 days ago, they had only 3 cases. So a very rapid spread happening in Italy, confined mainly to hotspots in the north of the country, but spreading elsewhere as well. And Italy really stepping up its efforts now to deal with this outbreak, drafting in health officials to the worst affected areas, calling on the EU to allow it to breach its budget deficit and spend as much money as possible on this thing. There's talk of a new red zone or red zones of quarantine in the worst affected parts of the country. So we may yet see things like citywide or town-wide lockdowns on the same sort of basis as we saw in China. The most recent line in the last hour is that Italy is closing all of its schools and all of its universities until mid-March. So a pretty strident effort there to halt the spread of the virus in those institutions. That, along with news that sporting fixtures, well, for some days now, they've been calling off or postponing big sporting fixtures. A Coppa Italia match between Napoli and Inter Milan is the latest to be called off. It was scheduled to happen on Thursday, the 12th match at the top flight of the game to be called off. There's warnings coming out from the president of Italy's Higher Health Institute. This will strike a particular cultural nerve in that country, asking people no longer to kiss each other on the cheek in greeting. Yeah. Or to hug each other in greeting. And it is thought, perhaps colloquially, that that is a widespread cause of the spread of this disease in Italy. But Italy clearly struggling to cope, struggling to contain this virus, but doing all it can.
OK, Jonah Hull, thank you for all those updates on the situation